Hello, this is the LEGO City Rover Testing Drive set, which is not a great name for the set, in my opinion. Honestly, it's not a great set either. It's not bad, but it's just not great. The set comes with just 2 figures, and I think each of them is good. The one on the right has a remote control unit. I think he's operating the crane arm on the rover with that thing. And the one on the left has a laptop that's folded up right now. But when I open this up, it has actually a pretty nice surprise if you didn't actually build the set yourself. I'm getting my fingernails in there and separating it out. This actually has a sticker for the screen. That's something that you don't see very frequently, and I like it. I think it adds a lot to one of these laptops to have a simulation of a screen, and I appreciate the fact that it's a sticker because I can leave it off if I want, but I can put it on and get that extra detail. Yeah, these are just fine figures, not fantastic. I very much like the new helmet of the one on the right, and the inclusion of the dual molded hair and helmet for the one on the left. No alternate faces for either of these. I think the face on the right is getting a little bit tired, personally. It's getting a little bit old in the or long in the tooth, don't you think? And there's the rest of the torso print on the back. I think the Rover is not as cool in person as it appeared in pictures. I thought this looked really cool and interesting. I generally like very angular cab sections, especially on things that look like trucks and utility vehicles. It looked cool to me, but now that I actually have it here in person, and even having gone through the build process, I'm not as impressed. And part of that is definitely subjective, just about the looks of it. There is some nice building that goes on right in here, but I think the 2 things that pull it apart for me, that make it not as good, are the setups for I guess those are headlights or floodlights, whatever those are. They're different, they're interesting, but I don't know, they don't look good to me. And then also, just looking at this on the front, it's very blocky and plain right there. I don't know, again, a lot of this is certainly just subjective, but to me, it's just not as cool as I expected. The wheels are interesting. I generally don't like plastic wheels and plastic tires, basically, is what those are intended to represent. Kind of looks like they're going for an airless design here, which is a nice concept and all. And I guess for that, it's done well, but I just would have preferred some nice, soft, sticky rubber tires. For something like this, you want to make it bounce over terrain and stuff. It just would have felt so much better to me. Also, with these axles being extended as far as they are, these are kind of wonky. They can move around, which you can see as suspension a little bit. Kind of simulates suspension without having to have moving pieces a little bit, just a little bit. But it's not great. I don't know. Like I said, I don't like this as much as I thought I would. It's not as interesting. It's not as cool. A lot of things about it seem a little bit cheap in the design department. I mean, it just looks worse. The wiggly wheels looks worse and worse the more I look at it. Nice to get those pieces in the new gold color. This is a solar panel little assembly that you can put down, which is nice. This is good. You can rotate it around. You can change the angles of the solar panels in unison, which is good design work. It's simple, but it definitely does its job. Those are stickers right there that you have to apply. I'm fine with that. And you also get this, which is just a toolbox with a single tool in it. Just one. Jackhammer. Okay. All right. And that leaves you with basically a pickup bed back here. And they've got the spot for the crane. Now, crane arm, or whatever you want to call this, it works just fine. It has a very nice reach, and it has a good range. Look, you can get all around, all the way back in the back. That's good. Behind the vehicle, yeah? Bring this. It can grab onto where the license plate would be if it was a street vehicle. And these are just some new pieces, or a new piece that's doubled up with the rubber band around it. I don't like the visible rubber band, but at least it goes with the color scheme. And you have a little storage locker over here on the side, so you can pick up a small sample off the ground and try to drop it in there. So that's fine. Yeah, this works fine. just the main vehicle base. The chassis is not that great to me. I like the use of the gray ingot piece right here to make it easy for you to get your finger under there to pull up the canopy. The canopy print is fine. I like this shape. I guess now that I look at it more closely, it's okay. It's not great. I mean, could have been more solid for sure, and certainly the white doesn't match the normal white. But I don't think it has to always, as long as there's a purpose for that, as long as it can make sense. And then inside there's room for one single operator, one driver, who gets a console at the front, and plenty of room to sit in there comfortably. And well, that's that. Last two things in the set. Camera is what this is supposed to be, on a stand. You can call it a tripod if you want. I won't, but it doesn't matter. And then just a little bit of terrain with two of the geode pieces. And the geode pieces are super nice. I will not stop saying that until they stop making these pieces. And then I'll call them nice old pieces. But yeah, it's just such a nice design. Works really well. I like being able to break it open and reveal what's inside. And the colors are cool. And being able to see through is cool. And that leaves me with just the spare parts. There's nothing fancy here. My favorite of these pieces is the 1x1 trans brown tile. This is a roughly 200 piece set that sells for $30 US. And I don't think that the value is there. You could probably argue that it should be $20. I'm going to say it should be $25, just based on the volume of stuff overall. But even at that, even if it was priced appropriately, in my personal opinion, I still don't find it to be that fun, that interesting. It would be so much better with rubber tires, I think. It would be better if the tires could steer, like on this thing that they're trying to show that it's supposed to be, which it really doesn't look like or work like at all. But even forgetting that, just it could have felt more fun. It could have felt more sturdy. Could have felt better, could look better. I just obviously am not that big of a fan of this one, and it's just going to happen sometimes. I would not recommend that anyone rush out to get this if you don't feel a major draw towards it yourself. If you want to see how it's built without having to buy it yourself or go through the instructions, you can see either of my build videos, and those are both up. I will link to both of them right now on screen. One is real time with good sound, and one is a speed build with music. Check them out if you like. I'll talk to you again soon.